Hi.
The Flexible Lifestyle Community brings you the best people in the world. We're right here, and we want you to be part of our community as well. So come on in and learn all about Meredith and Jasper and how I met them and how they're going to help you and how we're all going to work together to live a more flexible, happy, healthy lifestyle. Woohoo!
Absolutely.
Okay, so where should we start? Hello, Meredith. Hello, Jasper. Tell us where we met you the very first time we met. Do you remember?
I think I met you at Michelle Sissom's conference.
Oh, really?
Back in Houston or Dallas or wherever it was. I think it was her first one.
I think you're right.
And I was working as her online business manager. And I think it was the first time I met Michelle too. Actually, that's one of the things about this lifestyle is that you make friends from all over the place and you might even work with them for a long time before you ever meet them. So I think that's how we first connected.
That's fascinating, yes. And Jasper, I believe I met you in Houston at a conference where you and Meredith were doing some kind of a workshop.
That's right. I think that was actually one of Michelle Sissom's conferences as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we did. We did do a workshop for her on one of those occasions. I'm sure it was that one. Yeah, we did a couple of roundtables and we did a presentation on podcasting and that sort of thing. Yeah, so it could be that one.
Oh, I love conferences. I love workshops. I love getting together. Did you ever go to NAMS?
No, because we live in New Mexico. And Atlanta is a bit of a stretch for us right now. Yeah. I'm waiting though. Like my daughter is 15 and she is getting her learner's permit and her driver's license soon. And I have driven her to school for every day of her life since she was like 2.
Yeah.
And so I am looking forward to having the shackles removed so I can attend more conferences.
We talked about going to NAMS over, for the last 2 or 3 years and never actually made it there yet.
Well, guess what?
They don't have it anymore, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, no. That's a shame.
So we're just going to have to create another thing, you know?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Yeah.
Somewhere between New Mexico and Houston, maybe?
That is, what town is that? It's a little teeny town in Texas because Michelle and I talked about meeting there once. But Houston isn't bad for us, and New Mexico isn't really bad for you. Like, that's not too far apart. It's about a 12-hour drive for those of you who are wondering. So there you go.
I've never been, so maybe, okay, we'll think about
Austin would be fun. Yeah, Austin would be a great place.
Oh, it would. It would, yes, as a matter of fact. I met a lady, well, I didn't actually meet her. I heard about her. She does a book or a series of books on how to travel for free and actually get paid while you travel.
Oh, there we go.
And I noticed that she has a listing of all the places that she's going to be. She's been in 40 countries. She's been in every state. And she just does classes all over the place. And she's come into Austin and San Antonio. And I thought, ooh, road trip.
Yes. There you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the way to do it for sure.
Who doesn't want to travel for free and make money?
I know.
I will get paid for it.
Yeah. So I want you to kind of tell us about yourselves. You know, people that I know you, but people watching this video today, they're not going to have any idea who you are. So let's back up and tell us what you were doing, what you're doing now, and then what's in it for the future.
Sure, yeah. Well, our business is called SoloBizHacker, and essentially we help mainly people over the age of 40, a few younger ones as well, but mainly people over the age of 40 who are essentially looking to escape the sort of job tyranny and to make a living on their own terms, and mainly by reaching a paying audience online, because our specialism is helping people reach an audience online, and that's what we've really been doing since we got together about 5 years ago.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's exactly what people want to hear. If they're still in corporate America, they want to escape somehow. Maybe they could start part-time. Because if you have an online business, you could work from anywhere that they have strong internet. And one of the things that I'm doing to help people is I'm building a resource list. And I'm telling them, like cell phone boosters and Wi-Fi, how to get the strongest Wi-Fi no matter where you are. So if they decide to get into a camper and travel, or if they're going somewhere, where they don't have their strong internet at home or at their office, they need resources like that. So I'm building that out. So
that's amazing. Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, I know, like, even as someone who lives in Albuquerque, which is not the Wild West, but it kind of is. And so, like when my daughter was younger and she went to summer camps, like everywhere all over, like I'd be working out of McDonald's and I'd be working out of Starbucks and I'd be working out of my car in the parking lot of the place, which may or may not have good internet, So even if people aren't traveling, those resources are good resources.
That's right. And today people understand that, business owners understand that, and they're popping up with these cafes that have private strong internet, or they're offering spaces that are quiet, for people like us that want to, even if it's in our own hometown, like you said, go somewhere besides the house. Because just a few minutes ago I had to go put my dog up so that we could talk. If you work from home, it's hard. So sometimes you just want to get away.
And my dogs have spent a lot of time in my car. Yeah. Like I just put them in the car so that they can be quiet, when I'm having a phone call. So.
Well, the great thing really is that the internet has enabled so many people to be able to do this, and it's all so relatively new. I mean, 5 years ago, it was just about getting started, and that was one of the things that really excited us about getting into this area, was because it enabled people to really escape the geographical location, being stuck in one place. So and now it's like thousands of people are now getting onto this and sort of creating lifestyles where they can just work wherever they are and travel where they want to. And I think that's great. It's an exciting time to be around.
Another thing, okay, so for those people that are, and these aren't my words, stuck in corporate America and wanting to get out, escape, or they work for themselves, but they have to go take care of a parent in another city or another state, or other reasons why they might want to travel. It's not just for fun, okay? Sometimes we're forced, or we feel like we need to go somewhere where we're out of our element. And so these tools that we're talking about allow us to continue working or start a new business on the side.
Or even work somewhere else. Like I actually got into this because when my daughter was about 3, we moved from Washington, D.C. to Albuquerque, New Mexico. The salary disparity was gigantic between what I could make in Washington, D.C. and what I could make in New Mexico. I'm not exaggerating when I say that it was like 25% of what I was making. And so at that point I had a 3-year-old daughter, right? And I was like, okay, so daycare is X amount. I want to spend some time with her. I want to do some things with her. I want to be able to drive her to school every day or whatever. And so going virtual allowed me to have clients in New York. And those people didn't mind paying my rates because it was like cheap to them, and it was a good rate for me in New Mexico. So that worked out really well. I wasn't traveling, but I was living someplace different and having a job that wouldn't have been available to me somewhere else. And so this works for that too. Or for people who, for whatever reason, choose to have some flexibility. I don't regret that choice. And I mean, now my daughter's in high school, and so this is ending really soon. And I'm kind of like, yeah, but I'm like, man, what a blessing to be able, I complain about driving her to school every day, but what a blessing to have always had an arrangement that I've been able to do that.
Amen.
I think certainly college educated sort of young women who have young kids. I mean, I remember when we were working, we met in a co-working space, and one of the other people there was she worked as a virtual assistant, and she was in exactly that boat. She had 2 young kids, no there were no part-time jobs that would give her the flexibility to run her life with 2 young kids. But, having, being able to work virtually as an assistant to other entrepreneurs allowed her not only to earn a decent amount part-time, but also was flexible enough to, to allow her to sort of actually live her life the way she wanted to do it, which is great. But I saw just yesterday there was a Gallup poll that was actually saying one of the fastest growing sectors is actually baby boomers looking to do this, because a lot of them, of course, they don't have enough money to retire, or they still got a lot of energy and want to pursue a passion, and so they're one of the fastest growing demographics, which is good to see, because that's mainly who we work with.
It's funny you should say that, because I just wrote an ebook on how to find your natural talents. And once you know because sometimes we don't even know. I mean, some people, if they're an artist or a singer, they know, but some of us, we're not sure what would make us happy or what our natural talents are. So it's a whole list of different ways that you can find that information out, including going to a college and taking some of their assessments and things like that, they're either free or they're very low cost, and it's well worth it. If you ask your friends, if you ask your family, what do you think I'm good at? It might be something totally different than you thought.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why that is, but.
Well, it is because the stuff that you're good at is easy for you.
Yeah.
So you assume that everybody knows it. Like, I'm that way with technology. Like, people say, oh, Meredith, you know so much about this. And I'm like, well, nah, everyone knows how to do that. And then it's like, no, not really.
Yeah.
No. And so that's kind of, you don't see, it's hard to see for the wine to see the label on the bottle. And so you don't know, it's just kind of what you love to do, but then it comes so naturally to you that you assume that everybody else knows it as well as you do.
Well, and not only that, but you then, because it's so easy to you tend to undervalue its value. But, a lot of people create sort of really good livings out of informational products to people who don't know that information, and that's it's really recognizing the value of the knowledge.
And that's another thing, and a piece of advice I can give to people actually is that people say, well, I don't feel like I know enough to put myself forth as an expert in this area. But the truth is that in some ways it's better that you are not like the highest expert in that area, because the highest expert doesn't remember what the beginner was thinking. And so if you're far enough along that you can actually teach someone something and people can benefit from your experience, then that's a great place to be. And that's a great place to be really helpful, because if you were just in that place a couple of years ago, then you can be helpful. And I've seen clients, and Michelle Sissom is actually a good example of this, because I started with her when she was new, like in the beginning of her business. And it was cool to watch the quality of her clients increase. Like, she got better, she charged more, she could give more information. And then the people coming behind her that were her students also got to be better. And the people who were her new students were a little better because she was at a higher level. And so you just sort of start with your community and you grow together. And so it's good not to be the head guru of the universe on something. You kind of want to be at a place where you can really be helpful to them.
Well, I find for myself, if I learn something and I turn around and teach that, then I not only dig in deeper and learn it better,
yes,
and I get more out of it. The people that are, I'm excited because it's brand new and they love it. So I'll give an example. So I just decided that even though I have a lot of clients who have YouTube channels, I've never actually, and I have my own, I have 3 of my own, I've never really done it for myself, right? So I thought, Marion, you know what? Now's the time. I love this flexible lifestyle that I'm creating for myself, and I have friends who are doing it. You know what? That is what I really want to teach. I want to teach people how to live more flexible, how to travel, how to, do what you want to do, right? So I dug into YouTube. I started interviewing people. I started digging into it, really getting into how people were making money and all this stuff. And then I found Patreon. So you actually get paid.
Yes.
Your supporters love it. And here's the psychology behind it. You know how you get addicted to certain shows? Like it used to be, All My Children or something like that.
Yeah.
And you look forward to it every day. Well, people on YouTube are attracting an audience the same way. They want more of you. They're connecting with you. You bring them this really great information. They feel like they know you, and they want more. So if you don't give them more, they drift away and go somewhere else. But if you keep giving them more, they get more and more locked in. I don't even know how to describe it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to teach people this because I'm doing it anyway. I might as well. Yeah. So I started a webinar on how to get paid for your time, talents, and efforts using YouTube.
Very cool.
And they love it. I am getting so much good feedback. And I'm not an expert. I'm learning one step ahead of them. Maybe.
Yep.
Well, would they say that to every third grader, a fifth grader is God? So
right.
So that's the attitude you have to have for sure. Yeah. But I'm a huge YouTube fan.
And it makes you dig in even more because you have a webinar to give, so you better you got to get more information. So that's great. Well, tell me what you all do. You have 2 people in your business, 5 people in your business. Well, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, it's basically just us 2 at the moment. What we really do is we teach people how to create a successful online business. A lot of problem that solopreneurs have, we had a podcast, we interviewed 100 different solopreneurs, and we found that there were certain patterns that came along. And one of them was the fact that a lot of them waste enormous amounts of time and money going down the wrong path, doing the wrong things. There's not
staying on a path long enough, giving up right before it comes to fruition.
That's right.
Like that's really common too.
Yeah, and so a lot of it is just down to they don't have a plan. And they don't have someone who knows what they're going through, who can help them. And so we wanted to really fulfill that role, and really, we call ourselves SoloBizHackers because our hack is to cut through all that wasted time and effort and get straight to the sort of successful bit. So that's really what we do. And essentially, we offer like a blueprint planning session. We work in sort of 90-day increments, and then we do coaching support all the way through that 90 days to help them get the bits and pieces they need to create a sort of semi-automated but predictable business.
Well, tell me what you all do separately and what you do together, and how do you work with your clients? Are they in person? Is it on Zoom? What do you do?
We are 100% virtual with our clients. I think we've had 1 local client. At least I think I've had 2 in the 10 years that I have been in business doing this virtual.
That's what I call a flexible lifestyle.
Yeah. I really... as a matter of fact, to some extent, like I shy away. Like when people want to work with me locally, I'm like, no. And I have to figure out state taxes, all that stuff. It's just much easier to like.
Meredith's always been the sort of tech goddess of the team.
And Jasper's like the brains. Like he's the one. He's like the smart one, and I like do things.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't quite go that far, but yeah. So Meredith was an Infusionsoft certified consultant. She's an Active Campaign certified consultant. She's probably used every online tool there is. She has a weekly newsletter called Meredith's 3 Tips, and basically
3 picks.
3 picks, yeah. And she basically picks out what
cool things are for that week, and there are always 3 new cool things that people haven't heard about. So I'm like, oh yeah, there's this and there's this and there's this, and people.
It's funny you should say that, because I remember I've been in the IT industry for 25 years or so, and I remember when we first started, something new would come out once a year. It was like, oh my God, look, we're going to do websites now, and then every 6 months, oh look, you can do voice over IP, and then And then it would be once a month something would come out, and then once a week, and then once a day, and then now it's like, okay, you can't keep up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of what I do, is I help curate that for people. And that's sort of what we do as SoloBizHackers is take all the options for people, right? And then really look at their business and say, no, it's this and this and this. And then let's create a plan to put that into place for you, so you don't get distracted by the new little thing that's going to pop into your inbox next week with this new cool tool that does this thing that da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, no, well, wait a minute. One of my business partners, Russ Johns, he's a beta tester for most all companies. They seem to know him. They have him on speed dial for some reason. And who does he test it out on?
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, talk about distraction.
Well, if people ask me, I'll always beta test everything. So, day and night. I was working with a health coach. She's like, "We have a new app. Do you want a beta tester?" Oh yeah. Sign me up for that. But the cool thing is you get in on things like really early. So like we got into Zoom before Zoom was a thing.
Same here, yes.
Like not very much money for our Zoom.
That's what we're using right now.
We bought it like way early on, and so it's like $5 a month. And
we got grandfathered in. Yahoo!
Yeah, I mean it's like super that way.
Meredith's the queen of doing that. I mean, so many of the tools we use, she got when they first came out, and she got like a lifetime license for like $37, and now everybody else is paying like $100 a month.
Right. I love that.
Yeah, so we saved a huge amount from Meredith's sort of tech.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got Google for free because I got in the very beginning, and and so everyone else is paying $5 a month. That's not a whole lot, but hey, I don't have to pay anything because I'm grandfathered in.
Yeah,
I had to get out of my grandfather because there was something I needed that was in the extra tier, but I was in it for free for a long time. But I was like, there's some, and I don't even remember what it was. It was something with multiple users or something like that.
I think the problem for a lot of people, especially when they're first starting out, is there is just so much out there that you're so overwhelmed about what you should be using that you almost like just get stuck, because you look at it and go, oh my God, there's like this, and this, what should I be using? And therefore you just stop there. And that's, with a lot of the technology involved, at every stage you go to, whether it's autoresponders or which website platform or which shopping cart, or it's sort of almost never ending, and a lot of people just get totally bogged down because they don't want to do the wrong thing, and it's just sometimes you just need somebody who's that little bit further ahead who can just say, look, you're at this stage, just keep it really simple, and just do this and this. And for most people, having that kind of help is just huge for them, because it just unblocks a whole lot of dams that have built up, I
agree. So you can help people figure out if they're just starting to think about a new website or a new idea that they had. You can help them figure out a roadmap that will help them in the long run save a lot of time, effort, and money. I appreciate that so much. Well, thank you, Jasper and Meredith, for coming into the Flexible Lifestyle community and hanging out with us today. And for those of you who are watching us, I want you to reach out to them, because whether you're starting a new business or you're stuck in the business that you have, or you have a friend or a relative that needs their help, I think that as you can tell, they're friendly and they're very nice. They're not going to bite you if you, reach out.
Well, maybe we'll bite you.
Oh, now you're going to have other people calling you.
Yes.
Hey, I heard you bite. Oh, that's fantastic. Thanks again for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. And tell me you'll come back.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Anytime.
We're always keen to support, this sort of free lifestyle. People should be able to earn a living on their own terms, and that's what we're here to support. So happy to be back.
Okay, well, bye for now.
Bye.
Cheers.